This was the exact moment when this 18-year-old was sent to the interrogation room after taking the life of his neighbor with a sharp weapon and a stun gun. On the internet there are two kinds of people, those who contribute something to society and those who don't. Unfortunately, in this video we'll be talking about someone who not only contributes nothing to society, but actively destroys it. This person is Zachary Latham. Zach was a 16-year-old who moved into his grandparents' house in a beautiful town called Vineland, located in the state of New Jersey. But everything changed upon his arrival. Zach began posting videos on TikTok during 2020, right in the middle of the platform's boom. You know how things were back then. People were raking up followers and views for the simplest and most absurd things ever seen. And as expected, this case was no exception. By the end of the story, we'll see how a couple of million views can influence an 18-year-old's decision to the point of leading him to make the biggest mistake of his life. Before continuing, if you enjoy my content, don't forget to leave your ideas in the comments for future videos, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, so YouTube recommend my videos to you and you won't miss the new content I upload every week for you. Now, without further ado, let's begin. You're probably wondering, what kind of content did Zach post in 2020? Well, you might think that, like most people at the time, he posted videos doing ridiculous dances or acting as a fuckboy. You know, that disgusting term we use to refer to this kinds of oddities in society who dance shirtless and do weird things. Alright, anyway, let's just move on. Although, let's be honest, ridiculous dances and fuckboy videos are practically the same thing. This guy took things to a whole new level of absurdity. He was different. He wasn't like those content creators who do car reviews or mundane things like that. No. Zach had his own style, showing off the steering wheel and bragging about being the US Army. All these, of course, with a narcissistic flair worthy of a textbook. It's easy to imagine him on his more inspired days, sitting in his car, checking his notes and thinking, what video should I make today? A video from my car showing off the steering wheel while bragging about owning my sports car? A tutorial on how to drive? Annoying my neighbors by doing burnouts in front of their house? I already do option 1 every day, so let's go with option 3. And so it was. Zach went with the most exciting option and set off on his mission. Go out and do burnouts all over the neighborhood like a madman. But what started as a mere annoyance escalated to the point of deeply affecting the family, leading them to make a decision that, as we'll see later, would mark them forever. This family is known as the Durham family, composed of the father, Sir William Durham, the mother, Miss Tiffany Durham, and their 2 sons, the eldest, William Billy Durham, 21 years old, and Gage, the youngest, 17 years old. Their neighbor, William Durham, the father of the family, already fed up with this annoying behavior that disrupted the peace of his home, decided to complain to Zach's grandparents, a logical and typical action against such behavior. However, as often happens in families with exploited kids who live with their grandparents, absolutely nothing happened. Zach continued with his antics, all to feed the tension-hungry appetite of his followers. It's likely that the grandparents weren't bad people and tried in some way to advise Zach to be more cautious with his car, but their immature and disrespectful grandson paid no heed. He kept creating his TikTok content, completely disregarding the lives of the people in the neighborhood. He even drove over 100 kilometers per hour in residential streets, all for the sole purpose of gaining followers and views. One day, Miss Durham, tired of the situation, decided to confront him directly. But Zach, far from having a rational conversation, thought it would be a great idea to record her while mocking her and calling her by the wrong name. At that point, the woman took note of the car's license plate and called the police, and this happened.
What are you gonna do, Karen?
That's not my name, so get my name straight. Go ahead.
You okay, Karen? Go ahead, get my tag.
No,
Get my tag, Karen.
my name is not Karen, so get my name straight.
Get my tag, it's okay.
A45 MFA. Sir, there's an officer.
All because my car is loud. 3 cop cars.
All because my car is loud. No, clown, not because of that. It was because you were driving over 100 kilometers per hour in a residential street, endangering not only your life, but also others. You were also ruining the quality of life of the neighbors with your irresponsible behavior. And what did this poor woman get for standing up to Zach? Basically, nothing. Just vile comments on Zach's TikTok, where his followers encouraged him to keep mooking her and her family. The video garnered over 3 million views, and as it went viral, some people started searching for the Durham family's address, until someone finally doxed them. What followed was a series of incidents where other young people began driving recklessly around the area, further harassing the family. But things completely spiraled out of control when, according to Miss Durham's testimony to the police, Zach almost ran over one of the family's children riding a bike near their home. The family's response was to act on their own, taking justice into their own hands. This was probably their first mistake. Don't get me wrong, I'm the first to advocate for actions against bullies like this guy and his vile band of followers, but unfortunately current law, though imperfect, exists to mediate conflicts and prevent us from living in utter chaos. The Durham family decided to confront Zach directly. They planned to face him as a group. By that time, Zach, who had married at 18, was accompanied by his wife, who was recording everything from the car, and some friends following in another vehicle.
Why are you guys recording when you came out of the bus first? Just like you were in front of my toilet today, right?
When?
Okay, what?
When?
When?
Yeah.
You don't remember? You were driving this way and you swerved and pushed him against the curb?
I didn't push me against the curb.
You did
Yeah.
it?
You guys have a video? You guys have a video? Because I didn't do that.
Yeah, we do have a little video.
I'd like to see it.
The cops already saw it.
Oh,
that sucks.
I know I didn't. You guys.
Right here,
What, him or him? I honked at him because he was in the way. I didn't hit him.
Hey, on the side of the road?
I didn't hit you though, man. She said you did.
No, I did not say that. You know what? I said you don't get straight to the You're 18. Come on. You're 18. Come on.
Oh,
Get out of his
get out of my face.
Get out of his face. No.
Get out of my face.
Get out of his face. Oh, did you hit me? Did you hit me? Ow.
You did a little video, right?
Mr. Durham blocked Zach's path with a truck as he tried to get home. Miss Durham, camera in hand, approached to confront him. At that moment, Zach, trying to escape, pushed Miss Durham's arm away from the car to flee the scene. After this shocking incident, the Durham family was not going to wait even a single day to continue putting up with this guy, so they decided to confront him again. And how did they do it? Well, here's the story. When he returned from his escape, the Durham family planned another encounter, but at this time at the gate of Zach's house. And here's what happened.
I promise you, you better back up because you're not gonna like what's coming out. I promise you. No. No. Back out. Back up. Babe! Get off of my property.
Oh, you got a job? You got me?
Get off the property. Get
hard to make out who attacked whom or exactly what happened because Zach's wife, Sarah, was nervously recording the chaotic scene. Zach was armed with 2 weapons, which if handled properly could have easily ended everyone in the blink of an eye. So here's what can be seen. The children arrived first on bicycles while Zach stood at his garage gate. That's when Mr. Durham drove up behind the kids in his truck and got out, accompanied by his eldest son. The eldest son of the Durham family charged at Zach, who was holding a teaser and a knife for defense, shouting at them to back off and leave his property. The eldest son slipped while being attacked and fell to the ground. After that, Mr. Durham advanced toward Zach, and Zach, in attempt to flee, retreated. Meanwhile, the eldest son got back up and followed his father. All of this happened as Sarah, amidst screams, recorded the chilling scene in which Zach stabbed Mr. Durham in the arm and then delivered a more lethal blow, a stab under the armpit that pierced his left lung, leading to his death a few hours later. After the murder, Zach proceeded to call 911, and here's what happened next.
911, where's your emergency? There's blood all over the place. I just got assaulted and jumped. Are you the one that got stabbed? No, that was the other victim, but I got beat up really bad and I had blood all over me. Alright, so you're at 2986 Thornhill as well? Yes. Alright, and you want an ambulance? I don't know. Alright, the person the people who did it to you, are they still there? They came with trucks, came on my property with guns, and then when I fought them off, they drove away. Alright, how are you injured, sir? My windpipe was crushed in, and I got stomped out and choked by like 10 people. Alright, and where are you bleeding from? I don't know, there's blood all over me. I don't even know if it's cut. There's blood all over our garage. Okay. Now the person came in and said they had guns and they were going to kill us, and they came in my garage and attacked all of us. There was 4 people. Okay. Hold on 1 second for the police, okay? Okay.
An ambulance took Zach to the hospital for a minor contusion. Investigations were conducted, and during an interview, Zach was informed that Mr. Durham had died for the stab wound. His reaction to this news is hard to gauge.
You're getting charged with aggravated manslaughter, aggravated assault, possession of a weapon for multiple purpose, aggravated assault with attempt to cause serious bodily injury, and unlawful possession of a weapon. You realize what that means? Yeah. And I know it's a kick in the face, but your actions, everybody's actions cause, there was incident, your actions caused this man's death. You didn't know that. What? Yeah. No. That's aggravated manslaughter or something. The father was dead. No. Breathe. You're a grown man, okay? And this shit went way bad.
It's truly difficult to know what Zach might have felt at that moment, but to be fair, no one in this story is completely innocent. While it was understandable for the Durham family to confront him, it was not right for them to gang up on him with the intent to physically attack him. There are laws and systems of justice, imperfect as they may be, but they exist. The best course of action in this case would have been to file a formal complaint and avoid any physical altercation, specifically knowing that Zach had clearly warned them he was armed with a knife in one hand and a taser in the other. And so, after years of trial, Zach spent only a few months in prison before being sent to Miami. There, once free again, he caused disturbance on the streets of Florida, allegedly threatening a driver with a compressed air gun shaped like an AK-47. Following that altercation and due to the nudity of his trial, he was found guilty of several charges of aggravated assault, one for threatening the driver with the compressed air gun and another for intentionally trying to ram to the other driver's vehicle. After this, Zach spent several more months in prison but managed to get out thanks to a $40,000 bail. However, misfortunes continued to follow him as this last altercation cost him his parole in New Jersey. He returned to prison while awaiting his trial date. The trial began in March 2023, and after various verdicts, testimonies, and countless legal proceedings, Zachary Latham was found not guilty of any of the accusations made by the Durham family. Following the verdict, the judge left Zach with a message at the end of the trial.
Count of the indictment charging that the defendant on or about the 4th day of May 2020 in the city of Island, county of Cumberland, aforesaid, and within the jurisdiction of this court, did recklessly cause the death of William T. Durham Sr. contrary to the provisions of NJSA 2C11 4B1 and against the peace of this state, the government, and dignity of the state.
Not guilty.
It's 5.
How do you find on the count of the indictment charging the defendant that on or about the 4th day of May 2020 in the city of Vineland, county of Cumberland, aforesaid, and within the jurisdiction of this court, did purposely, knowingly, or under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to human life, recklessly attempt to cause serious bodily injury to William T. Durham Jr., contrary to the provisions of NJSA 2C12 1B1, and against the peace of this state, the government, and dignity of the same.
Not guilty.
Thank you. Sir, you may be seated. All right, as I indicated, now, juror number 1.
Yes.
No longer full person, now juror number 1. The verdict you just reported, was that your individual verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 2, same question.
Yes.
Juror number 3.
Yes.
Juror number 4.
Yes.
Juror number 6.
Yes.
Juror number 8.
Yes.
Juror number 9.
Yes.
Juror number 10.
Yes.
Juror number 11.
Yeah.
Juror number 12.
Yes.
Juror number 13.
Yes.
And juror number 14.
Yes.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with the return of your verdict, you've completed your services here to the court. I want to thank all of you for the time that you have devoted to this case and your attention to these details in this very important matter. I am at this point going to relieve you of the responsibilities that I placed upon you at the time that you were sworn in this case.
We never truly know who will live around. Many times we move to or expand extended periods in certain areas without ever knowing who lives on the next block, across the street, or right next door. Zach's case is a harsh reminder of reality and, to a certain extent, reflects what can or might happen in similar situations involving disputes with neighbors, whether over noise, trash, or other issues. My recommendation is to avoid as much as possible engaging in conflicts with your neighbors. After all, they are the people we share our surroundings with every day as we step out of our homes. And if someone behaves like Zach did, report them. Do not attempt to take justice into your own hands, as it could lead to tragic consequences, just like it did for the Durham family.